Celine, what do you have in mind? Do you have something in mind? Because I'm going to pick on you now. Hello, Celine.
Hi, so sorry. I
Okay.
am just I am just kind of I'm dealing with this myself personally,
Okay.
and just having kind of wishy-washy buyers,
Okay.
and just having, a real heart-to-heart conversation
Okay.
of where the market is and where it's been,
Okay.
and having strategy sessions,
Okay.
essentially. This is a strategy session. We got to figure out what's really gonna make it hit.
Okay.
And also bringing up statistics from
Okay.
from the past, and saying the if you're going to be wishy-washy about it, um look at how much the home prices are going up and up and up, so we need to
Okay.
make like a decision now.
Okay. Okay. So, so far we've heard is, educate them early through a great buyer consultation to inform them about the level of competition that they're going to be entering in. And then what we also just heard was to re-educate them, during the process. After they get into the fight, they get slapped around a couple of times, and we need to polish them up, give them a drink of water, and then turn them around and push them back into the fight. Sometimes that's a little easier said than done. Celine brings up an excellent point about strategy and discussing strategy. And what that brings to my mind is the difference. And I'm going to throw this out there because I think I've figured out the question. I think I've figured out the answer to this question, but I want you to help validate it with me and perhaps move it out. So I'm not going to give you what I'm thinking about it, but I want to hear from you. What's the difference in a buyer's mind between purchasing a home and buying a home? So that's today's topic. I want you to help me, and we can help each other by identifying and define. We've identified, now let's help define. We've identified there's a difference between purchasing a home and buying a home. That's what we've identified. So how would you define both of those? So let's just open this up for some discussion. Anybody? Anybody have a thought what the difference is? There's no wrong thought here, by the way. The difference between purchasing and buying.
I think of buying. Good morning, everybody. Myself, Manny.
Good morning, Manny.
Yeah, I think buying is that really the customer wants it, and the purchase is let's have it. Right now the market is the way. The buying is like he really fulfill his needs, and purchasing he's compromise his needs if he doesn't fall into the market. Sometimes he says, okay, I don't like the neighborhood, but there is nothing I can have it. I need a 3 bedrooms, I can have 2.5, or the bathrooms like this. They compromise on their stuff. In purchasing and buying is like they are getting their what exactly they are looking into it.
So I hear a moral dilemma. Our brains, there's two parts of our brains, and I think you're really onto something, Manny. One seems logical, the other seems emotional. And what really overrides all of our behavior? This is an open question.
Emotion.
Yep.
Every time. Okay. So let's go back to the original question and start to pick this thing out. So we've become superstar salespeople where we already are. By being here, you already are a superstar salesperson. So what is it? So I agree with you, and Manny, you started it out. There is some differentiation between buying and purchasing. One is logical, one is emotional. And when we lose, we have a tendency of not wanting to go back in and get another bloody nose or a fat lip or get kicked in the ribs. That shit sucks and it freaking hurts. And so why do you want that repeated over and over again? Sometimes they get so emotionally into this that they're not using their critical thinking brain in order to stay in the game, because in long term, it's going to win. So what's some dialogue now that we can agree that there is this difference between purchasing and buying? One's logical, one is emotional. What is it that we can bring to the table to increase our odds and increase their ability to win in the long term and stay in the fight? What's some dialogue do you think we could use? Doug?
Well, I'm not so sure. I haven't really been in this position yet to have a conversation, but I guess I would bring everybody around, back to why we're doing this. Go back to, what you found out in your discovery during your initial consultation, and find out why, we're doing this for the kids. We're doing this.
Okay. Can I pick this apart? No, I want to stop here for a second, because you said something really important. And sorry to interrupt, but I really wanted to bring this out. Doug went with logic. Remember, he said what you want in a house, and then he moved to emotion. Why you want this? For the kids. It's for the kids. You almost made me cry, Doug. And so, exactly. So what he was doing here, knowing it consciously or just doing it naturally, because Doug, you're a great salesperson. I know it. You begin to isolate and treat each part separately, but working together so we can have a whole brain conversation, without them understanding that you are having a whole brain conversation by starting out with what and then why. Emotion, then strategy. Emotion, then strategy. The strategy satisfies the logical brain, okay? The why satisfies the emotional brain. Okay, go ahead, Doug.
Well, like I say, I would go back to what I found out during the discovery as to why they want a home.
Okay, great. Now it's time to role play. Okay, let's get some scripts and dialogues here. So we just want to make this short and sweet, so we give as many people a chance here to exercise this. So so Doug, I'm going to be a buyer. We've been through 3 multiple offer situations. I've written probably good offers. They could have been possibly stronger, but I'm still a little reluctant. This is my first home purchase, and I understand that the market is what it is, because we had a great buyer consultation, but that was a month and a half ago. Okay, and I've been through 3. I've gotten my butt kicked 3 times now, and now I'm suggesting this. And your job now is to keep me in the game. Doug, I'm just not really interested in going back into the market right now. Maybe this just isn't the right time. So perhaps I'm just going to renew my lease, and we'll come back to this a year from now.
Well, I can certainly appreciate you're indicating the struggle that this is, and it is a struggle. And if you'll remember right, when we talked, is that we were going to be going through exactly this. I guess I'll remind you that why we're doing this. In the beginning, you indicated that you don't want to waste your money on rent anymore. You're tired of paying someone else's mortgage.
True.
And it's time to get the kids into a school district that makes sense to you.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Pause right here. Now switch into logic. Switch into logic and strategy.
Right. And
Numbers.
there's no time like the present. And right now, with interest rates starting to tick up a little bit, home prices are still ticking up a little bit. We need to continue to stay the course and continue making strong offers, and we're gonna get into the house that one of the houses that you choose.
Okay. Now tie that back into emotion and then close.
Once we win one of these offers, you're going to be glad that you did, and you're going to be really happy for you and your family.
Okay, good. See, we are doing this as salespeople all of the time. We're weighing, and even with ourselves in our own stated purposes and what it is we want to do, we have the objections. But when we're encountering it with our customers, don't we often get caught up in the emotion with them? Yeah. Same with their sellers. Hey, we're emotional creatures. We read emotions. We feel how we feel, and we feel how other people feel, and we absorb that. We have compassion. We have empathy. But oftentimes we lose our objectivity based upon the feelings, and we get sold into that. Now, I'm not going to say this is going to switch for everybody here in your book of business and your active customers. But when we can take a step back and understand that this situation is something that they are missing the long-term strategy, or that they're missing the strategy, there's a strategy how we can be successful today based upon, not based upon how you feel, but based upon what you want. And the feeling that you're getting your, ass handed to you on every offer is a very real thing. Listen, I feel it too. There's nothing more than I would love to see you in a home and handing you the keys. And ultimately, how I get paid. So I'm not in this necessarily just to get paid. I want to help you get a home. So if you take a look, about what you have been through, I'm going to give you, if I had a badge, I'd give you a badge of participation. But the badge of participation is not what it is that you want. You want a badge to win. And by delaying that process, here's what could possibly happen to you, Doug. With the interest rates bound to increase, you've seen it all over the place, and it's in the news. We know it's going to happen. In fact, it has already happened. And with the amount of inventory that is reduced, perhaps waiting and delaying and pushing this off is not the best strategy for you and your family in the long term in order to have some financial security and wealth accumulation. Look, that piece of paper that we have in front of you that we are reviewing in your area. If you were to sit with me last year, Doug, you can see here that median home sales prices were $475,000. Today in this area that you're shopping in, the median home sales price is $525,000 today. So about $125,000 of equity that home buyers last year are now living in. And with the cost of interest rates going up, and there's no sight in the near future of a truckload of homes being delivered into the marketplace, we're going to continue to experience low inventory levels, increasing interest rates, which reduces your buying power dramatically when prices increase and your affordability decreases. Perhaps now, if you think about this logically, the strategy to move forward, should be really what you should be focusing on. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So what I would attempt to do, my suggestion is this: the buyers have a strong emotional feeling. Move them away from the emotion. Tap into their logic brain and discuss strategy. So Manny hit on it earlier. One thought, you can switch it the way you want. I think of purchasing a home, as a strategy, or I think of buying a home more of a feeling. You can switch it up, whatever term you want to label each other. You could say, well, purchasing a home is more about emotion. Buying a home is more about strategy. So if you're going to buy a home, you're also buying it based upon strategy that would include what the numbers are in today's marketplace in regards to the cost to borrow the money and the long term. So, Doug, I understand that you may want to be getting out of the marketplace. And after what you have experienced, it's very understandable. Think of it in the terms of a strategy where you could pick up this home right now. Just think of a strategy. Okay. Now, what I said right there is that I'm moving them out of their emotional brain. I have told them, and I'm not being covert. I'm not being, covert about it. I'm overtly saying, well, let's think about strategy now. I'm not saying let's, all the huggy, feely, kissy about the children. Let's think about strategy now. The strategy of owning this home could and may, override how you feel about wanting to maybe back out. Let me explain. You're going to be putting 10% down, correct? Yes. Well, look at over this appreciation over the last year of 17.9% appreciation in the median home sales price. Within 1 year, you're going to be at a loan to value or above 20%, where you'll be able to refinance and lower your payment. In addition to this, don't think of this particular home in a market like this as your forever. It's your first right now home. And you can leverage the equity out of this property later for something greater. Think of it in terms of a 2 to 5 year strategy. If you live in this home for 2 of the next 5 years, you won't have any capital gains. So in terms of a strategy, does it make sense to withdraw because you have been not so successful in finding the right one? Listen, there are 7 or 8 other homeowners just like you left over from last week looking for the same homes. Let's discuss now in terms of strategy what we could possibly do to make the strongest possible offer when the next home shows up, okay? Here's some things I've been thinking about that we could possibly increase the ability to be in the ring longer. And I'm not saying we're going to win every one, but I think we should have the ability to get at least in a silver or a bronze medal. At least let's get on the podium at each run, okay?
Shouldn't we be finding out how we're losing or why we're losing?
You're not always going to get that. But after a period of time, I mean, we've discussed this here in sales development about the pieces that make up a great offer. This is going to, it exposes your buyers. There's a lot of exposure that buyers are putting out there, as you know, in today's marketplace, that you can see as a listing broker, those offers coming in, as well as representing buyers and putting these things together. Non-refundable earnest money, $10,000 or more. Waiving your inspection, waiving the appraisal, automatic waiver of financing within 10 days, removing the property information verification, removing the ability to have 3 days to review a property disclosure statement, giving the seller a 30-day rent back in the property, occupancy after closing for 30 days without any dollar amount. I mean, and escalation clauses. Okay, you're escalating $60,000-$70,000 above asking, and not only if their price is listed at $550, let's start at $585. Let's not start at $550. Let's start at $585. The escalation goes up to $635, and we're going to meet or beat any other offer by $3,000 to $5,000. In addition to that, if we are financing, we're going to put up an additional $20,000 to $30,000 to $50,000 of additional funds in the event of a low appraisal. All of those things are part of the discussion in putting together a strong offer and to win in today's market. Immense amount of risk and exposure for your buyer, but the reward of having something in their pocket is greater than that risk for some buyers. And it's intense. It's very intense. Any additions, any additional thoughts, things that you are experiencing currently in the marketplace? Jose, Megan, Verna, Rich, Nick.
I'm experiencing insanity. We've been trying to
You
get
should see a
into,
doctor about that, bro.
what's that?
You should see a doctor about that.
Well, this market, I mean, these homes we're 7.25 going up to 800, and these homes are going to 850 plus. And this is in Everett or Lake Stevens, and the homes weren't like they were priced low to begin with.
No.
But all you can do is
is.
just get back on the horse and hit it again.
Yes, it is. It is. It's tough to be a buyer's agent. It's not
It is.
impossible, but it's tough.
A big thing too that I've been recently doing is with buyers itself, and when we submit offers, kind of leaving it when we lose and say like, oh, I could have done better or anything like that. I've been wanting to, if this is the property that you see yourself in, I don't want to leave this property with regret, saying that we could have done better, and go in with our strongest offer and strongest foot, right? And then if we lose, then hey, that was our strongest we could have gone, and just go on. And like kind of I'm a big sports guy, so maybe we might be losing in the first half, but let's just get together and re-strategize and put a game plan together, and let's come back. Even if we're losing, we can always come back a second half. So
For those that are new in the business, this is not reality in the long term.
No.
This is your reality right now, but this isn't how markets behave. For a few of us that are a little long in the tooth, have been around a little while, this is absolutely obscene. What we're seeing, even in the height, of 2017, where it was just really crazy. So, we're having to deal with this. Yes, Celine.
I think another thing to bring up too is, for me personally, I work with a lot of first-time home buyers, and so they are sometimes wishy-washy, just really scared, but just kind of reiterating that this is not your forever home. This is the home that we're looking at right now. This is the 1, 2, 3 year plan. So kind of making sure that they know that like you don't have to like completely fall in love with it. It doesn't have to have every single element you want, and that's kind of trying to take the emotion out of it. This is your home to get into, so you can start building equity for that next stage home, or for that forever home, or for that investment property.
Strategy over emotion, logic over emotion, and then tying that together. And in the long term, aren't you really purchasing this for an investment for something greater as well? Did you really think honestly that at your first home is going to be your forever home? People generally move about every 6 to 7 years. So I plan on being in this business for quite a while. I'm going to sell you your next 3 to 4 homes.
Yep. And bringing it back to what you were saying with the statistics, had you purchased a home 1 year ago, you would have $50,000 to $80,000 in equity already.
And then having that information in front of them, so they can see it, and then asking them. I go, Celine, what's that number? You're looking on that column and on this chart. What's the difference between last year and this year? 100. Then they'll say 120,000. And when they say it, they own it.
One other thing I tell all my buyers is that just like for a wife or a husband, there's no 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. There's going to be some things on your list that you're going to be a 3, a 5, but there are going to be some things that are 10s. So when we're out looking at homes, keep in mind, there's things that are fixable and there's things that are not fixable. A school district, that's not fixable. If that's something that's a 10 to you, then so be it. But carpet, paint, a fence, there's many things that are fixable to look past and look at the bigger picture on. And so kind of be cognizant of that.
Excellent point. Excellent point. Well, we have really worked around a big subject today. And, I've got some dialogue, what I can say and how to present it. It really helped me define, the difference between emotional buying and logical buying, and how the two work hand in hand, and then how to separate and address each to have a whole brain thinking moving forward. Did any other final thoughts or suggestions or ahas that we can bring up?
My biggest takeaway is I know the numbers. I know all the technical bullshit. I need to know, and I'm going to try to keep this short because I think we're supposed to end right now.
Okay.
I need words. I need one word or two words in a conversation to use.
Okay.
And Doug, I've heard you say it. I've heard everyone that's talked use one word. The problem is with me at least, you got to pick that word, and that's your word. You know what I mean?
Okay. Okay. Well, let's. No, go ahead.
Go ahead. I've been trying to pick words for my entire real estate career, and I've always struggled with it. But I think it's a huge missing piece with a lot of agents, is they ramble and they spout a bunch of bullshit instead of being direct and to the point.
Okay. Okay. Then tomorrow, let's spend a little bit more time in this subject, working around. If you want to, join us again tomorrow and spread this, and we can talk more about some dialogue, and spend some more time dialoguing and scripting and rehearsing some scenarios that we can use in our daily business, which we are, obviously engaged in or should be engaged in. And if you're not engaged in, you do need to do more lead follow-up. Okay. So let's roll. Have a great day. And remember, today is a great day in real estate. See ya.